paranormal, when you talk about someone trapped, that they can't get over to the other side, I was thinking that's like people in a coma. They're trapped inside. My question to him and company was, has anyone made efforts into investigating the Lakeville Hospital?
Yes.
For paranormal activity? Yes?
I've been trying for years to get in there. And
that would be an awesome place, because I remember my nursing rotation, 1979. It was a chronic care hospital for children who required too much nursing care to be at home.
Mm-hmm.
And they each had a story. And I remember I was assigned to a 3-year-old that at 2.5 had walked out the backyard and into the family pool. She was there they estimated about 23 minutes.
Oh, wow.
Her father found her and tried to resuscitate her, but she remained comatose. And each one of those children had a story behind them. And I was just thinking, when the paranormal, when you talk about someone trapped, that they can't get over to the other side, I was thinking that's like people in a coma. They're trapped inside.
Right. So was that in the newer building, the one that's in the front, the one that you see right off 105?
Yes.
And then was it the third floor? Because I heard the third floor was where the children were.
Yes.
So from what I hear, that whole entire floor had a history of activity.
I wouldn't be surprised.
See,
I mean, beautiful children, many of them, some of them born with medical conditions, severe. Some of them just almost unrecognizable as infants. And the parents just could not deal with some of them even looking at them, much less caring for them. I'll never forget my rotation there. I'll never forget it, because each one had such trauma and turmoil in their lives. And I was thinking about it when you were talking about the various places that you people have gone to. So I was curious about Lakeville. For some reason, Lakeville Hospital came into my mind today.
Let me ask you this: when you were there, was the back end of the property where they had the old tuberculosis buildings, was that still in use back then, or was those already abandoned?
Yes, they had 2 iron lungs, and there was a young man that was kept on there for, I think, at least 11 years.
Wow.
I was very lucky. I had been trying to get in there a couple of times, and obviously not, they're not allowing it. But I was actually lucky. I went there one day, and it was on some holiday. I forgot what it was. The security guard happened to be a fan of the shows. And when I told him what I was doing, he's like, well, nobody's going to be around. Come take my rounds with me. So he let me hang around there for about 3 hours. And I got to go through the place with equipment and all that. And I got some great pictures. Still the iron lungs. The iron lungs are still there. There's about 6 of them or at least this was going about 4 years ago. There's about 6 sets of iron lungs still there. There was now do you remember there being outside of a nursing station on the 3rd floor, an actual crib with rails around it and everything for like the nurse? It was like built into the wall. Do you remember that being there?
Yes, because sometimes, not sometimes, they had 2 hydrocephalic children there that grew much older than they ever thought would. His head was approximately the size of a baby's crib, just his head.
Okay.
And they had to make and customize his crib and all of his equipment.
Really? Now, see, I've heard that story before, and I heard that, and again, this is just story. I don't know how true it is. I heard that child that had the, oversized head, and they had to customize everything for him. I heard that he actually passed away there, and that he actually put his head through the the actual crib area, and that's how he ended up passing away, because one of the boards clipped his neck and cut him. Do you know if that's true at all?
I don't know about that.
Okay.
He had so many complications. I would see him. Well, first of all, he lived many, many more years than what they had ever anticipated. He had a vocabulary about 150 words.
Okay.
And many of those words came from what he heard from staff and people.
Kind of just copied what he heard.
Right. He was adorable, but no, I don't see that, because his head was in excess of 56 pounds. And we needed 4 nurses to turn his head from side to side every 2 hours, so he never got pressure sores. But he did, but he could not move without assistance.